Welcome back. It's Seth here. Do you want to be a millionaire, but you feel like you're not making enough to get there? Let me tell you, it is 100% possible to become a millionaire on a low salary. In fact, many people have done it, and one of the most inspiring stories is of Ronald Read. Ronald Read was the first individual to graduate high school in his family. He served in World War II, and after World War II, he worked at a gas station and worked as a janitor at J.C. Penney. Throughout Ronald's life, he lived quite frugally. He drove a secondhand Toyota Yaris, used safety pins to keep his coat together, and chopped firewood on his own until he was 90. But what shocked the world the most, at the time of his passing, Ronald Read had amassed a fortune of $8 million without anyone knowing, and even his own family.
Couldn't believe it. We were stunned. we just
had no idea.
had no idea he was wealthy. The very fact that he could accumulate that kind of wealth by being careful and investing well is remarkable.
He wasn't a celebrity, he didn't win the lottery, he just mastered the basics, living below his means and investing for the long term. So in this video, I'll break down 4 steps that you can take to become a millionaire on a low salary. But before I dive deeper into this video, please hit the like button down below, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to help grow our channel. Now that you hit the like button, let's dive in. So the first core step that you want to focus on when you're trying to become a millionaire on a low salary is to make sure that you're spending less than you make. When it comes to money, it often seems that it's harder to make money, but a lot easier to spend it. So that's why you need to make sure that you are spending less money than you actually bring in. And you need to understand that every dollar you save is actually a dollar earned. One of the first books that I read when I started my investing journey was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And there's one quote that really stuck with me. Often, the more money you make, the more money you spend. That's why more money doesn't make you rich. So this quote really changed my mindset. If I was like the average person, as my income increased, so would my expenses. In other words, I would experience lifestyle inflation. So what happens to most individuals is when they land that new job or get that promotion, they tend to go out and finance that nicer car they've always wanted. They end up renting out a larger condo than they actually need, and they tend to go out more to more fancier and expensive places. So in the end, even though your income may have increased, but your living condition is probably the same, if not gotten worse, due to all that overspending. So it becomes very important that you're not spending more money than you're actually bringing in. I would say that you have to be very smart with your money, especially when you're on a low salary. This is because every dollar that you do save is another dollar that can work for you to make you more money. Now, this actually leads me to the second core step, and that is that you should be investing as soon as possible. I don't think I can emphasize enough on the importance of investing early. All that money that you may be saving is quite useless if you're not investing it. And I know it is common to hear that retirement is still far away and you don't really need to think about it at this moment. But if I'm being honest, the earlier you start thinking about retirement, the better off you will be when you actually do retire. I want to break down an example for you guys so you can see the impacts of investing early versus late. So in this example, we have 4 individuals, one who starts investing at the age of 25, one at 35, one at 45, and one at 55. And let's say that they all want to invest $4,000 a year, and the average return that they're getting is 10%. Assuming they all want to retire at the age of 65, this is what's going to happen. The individual who started investing at 25 has 40 years to save and invest. By the time they are 65, they'll have a portfolio worth $1,991,000. Now, if you look at the individual who started investing at the age of 35, they would have $740,000. Now, the individual who waited until the age of 45 to start investing will have just a bit over $257,000. And lastly, the individual who waited until the age of 55 would just have a bit over $71,000. So this chart really shows you the importance of investing earlier. The earlier you invest, the higher your returns. And I want you guys to focus on one specific thing. I want you guys to look at the individuals that started investing at 25 and 35. So if you notice that the individual that started investing at the age of 25 will have an investment portfolio just greater than $1,991,000. But if you only wait 10 years and start investing at the age of 35, your investment portfolio will only be worth $740,000. meaning that you would have lost just a bit over $1.2 million just by investing 10 years later. In my opinion, that's a lot of money to lose. So it's important that you don't procrastinate on investing. Also, I do want to note that investing early is important, but also the amount that you invest makes a big difference. So if you look at the individual that started investing at the age of 25, and we say that the individual bumped their investments from $4,000 to $6,000, $6,000 to $8,000, or even $10,000, their investment portfolio will look very different. As you know, investing $4,000 a year means that your investment portfolio will be greater than $1.9 million. But if you start investing $6,000 a year, your investment portfolio will grow to over $2.6 million. Now, if you invest $8,000 a year, your investment portfolio will be worth over $3.5 million. And if you invest $10,000 a year, your investment portfolio will be just a bit over $4.4 million. So the two ways that you can really control your investments is by investing early and the amount you invest. This can really dictate how successful you would be in investing. Now, this leads me to the third core step of becoming a millionaire on a low salary, which is that you should be investing consistently. Being consistent with investing is very, very important. This is probably the best way to invest for most individuals because it ensures that you're buying investments every single month. Even if you're just starting off by investing $100 a month, that is still a lot better than not investing at all. Our goal is to dollar cost average. Dollar cost averaging is the practice of investing a fixed dollar amount on a regular basis, regardless of the share price. This is a smart method of investing because you're able to catch the highs and the lows of the market, meaning you're able to lower the average cost per share versus if you had bought them all at once at a high price. Let me walk you through an example. Let's say you're looking to invest $100 per month. In month 1, the stock that you want to buy is trading at $5. This means that you're able to purchase 20 shares with your $100. In month 2, the stock is still trading at $5. This means that you're able to purchase another 20 shares. Now, in month 3, let's say that stock falls down to $2. Now, with the same $100, you're able to purchase 50 shares. In month 4, the stock starts to recover and is trading at $4. Now, with your $100, you're able to purchase 25 shares. And by month 5, the stock has recovered and it's back to $5, so you're able to purchase 20 shares with your $100. Now that you're able to capture the highs and the lows of the stock, your average cost per share is going to be much lower than the initial $5 that you started off with. So if you take the total amount that you've invested, which is the $500, and divide that by the total shares that you purchased, which is 135, your average cost per share is $3.70. So this means that by the end of month 5, if the stock is trading at $5, your total investment will be worth $675, meaning that you're up $175 as you're able to capture the highs and the low of the stock price. Unfortunately, what we often tend to see is when stock prices start to go down, most individuals stop investing, or even worse, they start selling their shares. So those individuals that end up selling at a loss, and those individuals that don't invest when the stocks are low, you end up missing out on the discounted stock prices. The truth is that no one knows when we'll hit the bottom of the market. So it's important that you invest consistently every single month, as this will ensure that you are in the market at all times. If you think that you're going to struggle with being consistent, I highly recommend that you automate your savings and investings. You can take a certain percentage of your paycheck every time it hits your bank account to ensure that you're able to save and invest consistently. Now moving on to the fourth core step, and that is that everyone should be focused on creating multiple streams of income. Most millionaires have more than one stream of income. A 2018 article posted by CNBC noted that 65% of millionaires have 3 streams of income, 45% of millionaires have 4 sources of income, and 29% of millionaires have 5 or more income streams. So if you're wondering what are some of these multiple streams of income, I will give you the top 5 streams of income that most millionaires have. The first one that most individuals have is earned income. This is usually employment income where you work for someone else. The income is usually paid as a salary or an hourly wage, and the source of income usually requires you to work 5 days a week for 40 hours. And this source of income, most individuals will retain for the majority of their life. The second source of income is interest income. This is where you move your cash into a high interest savings account and earn interest on a monthly basis. The interest rates are usually different bank to bank, so it's worthwhile shopping around and researching which bank could provide you with the highest interest. I personally use Wealthsimple, and their current interest rates are as low as 2% all the way up to 2.75%. I do think this is a great way to earn cash without facing much risk, and this really helps you to keep your money up with inflation. The third source of income is investment income. This income is usually generated from purchasing stocks and index funds. And some of these stocks and index funds will pay you a dividend on a monthly, quarterly, or even yearly basis. This source of income is usually considered passive as you're buying and investing for the long term. My personal opinion is that everyone should be investing in a low-cost S&P 500 index fund. As the S&P 500 index has provided investors with an average return of 10%, I think this is a great way for most individuals to invest for the long term. The fourth source of income is rental income. A lot of millionaires at least own one other property than their primary home, which is usually rented out on a monthly basis. So as you will be able to collect rent every single month, this is a great way to increase your cash flow. However, I do understand that buying a rental property is quite expensive and capital intensive. So there are a couple other options that you may have. If you own a home with a basement, you can even rent out your basement or a room on Airbnb to make additional income. I personally have rented someone's basement when I have traveled because I found the basement was cheaper to rent than the hotel, and the basement was actually quite nicer than the actual hotel that was available in the area. Also, if you have a car, you're even able to rent that out for some additional income on a website like Turo. So this source of income can really help you to increase your monthly cash flow. And the fifth source of income is business income. This source of income will require a lot of work. You'll need to put in a lot of time, effort, and even money into propping up a business or a side hustle. However, if you're able to start a business, this may be one way where you can generate a large amount of income quickly if your business ends up becoming successful. You may even end up generating more income from your business than your actual employment income and work on your business full time. And for some, that is their ultimate goal. So overall, you can definitely become a millionaire on a low salary. However, it won't be easy, as you have to sacrifice some of your wants today for a lifestyle that you would like when you retire. I really hope this video does inspire you to become a millionaire even if you're on a low salary. If you enjoyed this video, please stay tuned for future videos, and until next time, remember to keep investing.